Royal Base is a relatively new archetype in the Digimon card game, and although it debuted tigervespamon, a Digimon that many players wanted in the card game, why has the deck underperformed and just hasn't been competitively viable? In today's Fix That Archetype episode, I discuss some of the shortcomings of the deck, and a few key cards and potential alternate win conditions that could give the liftoff for this deck to actually work. Will Bandai add more to the deck soon remains another question. And as always, if you enjoy these types of videos, do consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and hitting that notification bell for more future content. One of the first major problems with this deck is that its entire line hinges around Royal Base trait. Your level 3s Digivolve for 1 regardless from a black or green Digimon but is 0 from a Royal Base trait egg. The only problem, there's only one. Puroromon offers a start of main phase effect, in which you can place one Digimon card with the Royal Base and its traits to the bottom of the security to add the top security to the hand. But what else does the deck need? Memory? Free playing Tamer? More level 3s? 4s? Or better yet, an alternate win condition? And that's today's discussion for this video. Outside of the two funbeemons that we have, a third would be necessary to give a more optimal level 3 lineup. BT18 offers an ability to manipulate the security, while BT19 offers a way to reduce the Digivolution cost by 1 going into a Royal Base trait Digimon. But the missing component here would be a way to search off the top of the deck. Meaning, like always, I'm introducing a searcher that reveals the top 3 cards of the deck. But here's the kicker. Because of how free security knowledge is for your opponent, honestly, is it a problem for the deck to reveal the top 3 cards of the deck? Add one Royal Base trait Digimon to the hand, and one to the bottom of the security, and one Tamer card with winr in its name to hand, bottom decking the rest. A potential +2 to hand, and then the last card goes to security? It could be worth it. Is the recovery a problem? Or do these cards need to have more security interactive effects that can mess with an opponent's Digimon? For now, I think making Royal Base trait Digimon with a security effect could be problematic. It might be too soon for that. However, for the last level 4 to iron out all the consistency, I'd probably request a forgebeemon that has a security effect of when it's hit in security, it plays itself after the battle. Additionally, this Digimon would have a when digivolving effect that would play out winr if you have one or less Tamers. Inheritable wise, a simple +1000 DP on all turns. I don't know. The focus of these videos isn't really to be like, this card should have this effect. It's more so a discussion on what do you think would elevate the deck to a more playable and competitive level. While I do clean up the level 3s and 4s for the deck, while searching and playing Tamers for free, there's one final discussion I'd like to bring up in regards to Royal Base decks. The entirety of the Royal Base archetype hinges on a few things. Number 1, your security is face up. Number 2, your security is face up. That means your opponent knows what the heck they're running into, what DP the Digimon is, effects, etc. Easy. Which leads to the final discussion of what would honestly make this archetype better. Revealing security is usually something that I'm not a huge fan of. While it's true that the deck fundamentally can use the security for Digivolution and recovery, ultimately the deck itself is reliant on currently 2 top ends that do different things. Tigervespamon introduces an aggro component to the deck, and can attack suspended Digimon while unsuspending if you delete an opponent's Digimon in battle. Likewise, it has Reboot and Piercing, meaning it can freely check security after deleting a Digimon and block the following turn. Queenbeemon, on the other hand, plays a more passive-aggressive approach, and can, when attacking, play out a face-up Royal Base trait Digimon from the security, reduced by 8. And additionally, when any of your Royal Base trait Digimon would leave the battle area other than by battle, you may play those Digimon face-up as the bottom security cards, including itself. The problem is, Royal Base decks unveiling the security doesn't do it any favors if it can't close out the game in time before the crackback. Because of this, there are a few items that I think could possibly fix the archetype as a whole, other than the ones that I mentioned earlier in the video to make it much better. First up, protection. This isn't something uncommon these days with Digimon, and frankly the solution is really simple. Either 1, having a Digimon that has a security effect that on your turn, prevents your opponent from activating on play and when digivolving effects of Digimon while you have a Royal Base trait Digimon in play. This is a huge fix that would ultimately kneecap even the likes of Blast Digivolution that could knock you back a few turns considering you don't have ways to raise new eggs quickly, though you could run Mimi Tachikawa in the deck if you really wanted to. Alternatively, introduce a new top-end Digimon like queenbeemon again, that when attacking plays out a Digimon with the Royal Base trait with the cost reduced by 8. Then your turn when a Digimon is played, none of your royal base trait Digimon can be affected by Digimon effects through your opponent's turn would also suffice. The question becomes, should the target be a Digimon in the security, or should a queenbeemon truly be as powerful as she is? There is, of course, another concept I threw around on a concept board with a tigervespamon that gains effects based on the number of face-up security cards. But ultimately I decided against this because this is the Digimon card game. Not wall of text, here's my thesis, I'll read this card out loud for you even though it's going to take a minute. Sorry not sorry, this isn't the Metropolitan Police Department, Community Safety Bureau, Cybercrimes Division, Investigation Unit 11 Digimon Crime Response Team. But the last food for thought item that I had was an alternate win condition. With tigervespamon being the real go-to for consideration for another boss monster, the thought was more so, what if you could win the game automatically at start of your turn, if you have 6 or more face-up security cards, and one of those face-up security cards is queenbeemon, you win the game. For me, I felt having 6 face-up security cards is quite a task to do, considering you need to flip everything face up and also not lose too much security. This is where having the old queenbeemon to put stuff back is moderately helpful, considering you could abuse effects like Gaia Reactor as well. But ultimately, getting that level 6 Digimon out and having it stick long enough for your next turn to come back to you without losing security could be difficult. And in discussions with my judge friend American Bash, this would probably be extremely difficult to do, considering life in general these days isn't as long lasting, even for Angel decks. Generally, Royal Base is a deck that has a lot of interesting mechanics, but at this time it seems too brittle or needs additional support to really get it back on its feet. What elements of today's discussion do you agree with, disagree with, and why? Drop a comment on another archetype you'd like to see get some love in the Digimon card game, and I'll catch you on more future content. This is DigiPanda, logging out.